The Hollywood coroner says an overdose of narcotics, police say possibly heroin, is responsible for the death of the well-known rock singer Janice Joplin. Miss Joplin was found dead in her bedroom last night. She was 27 years old.
It's like a ball and in a
The Jimi Hendrix experience is over. The acid rock musician died today in a London hospital, apparently from an overdose of drugs. During his short career, Hendrix flailed his electric guitar into some of the most unusual sounds of an unusual music. A report now from ABC's Gregory Jackson.
If you're much over 30, the odds are you never heard of Jimi Hendrix, or only dimly, perhaps a loud voice on the car radio. But take it for fact, in just the past 4 years, Jimi Hendrix became one of the best-known, highest-paid artists in recording history, an astonishing performer whose on-stage gyrations could make Elvis Presley look like a PE teacher. And it may well be that the story of Jimi Hendrix is a small picture of the overall explosive power and wealth of rock. The son of a Seattle gardener, James Marshall Hendrix quit school at 16, but before he was 20, he was touring the country as a backup guitarist for other rock groups. In 1966, a manager discovered him in a Greenwich Village bar, took him to Europe, formed a group, and just 9 months later, Jimi Hendrix returned world famous. At rock festivals, Hendrix was paid $50,000 for a single performance. His album sold in the millions. He should have been a millionaire. It's not known whether he saved his money, but it is known that today, Jimi Hendrix is dead, an overdose. He was 28. This is Gregory Jackson, ABC News, New York.
We'll be back in a moment.
Eddie Van Halen was hailed as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. His riffing rhythm branded him a guitar god and raised the musical bar for future generations. Born to a musical family, Van Halen bought his first guitar, a Teisco Del Rey, at age 12. He then taught himself how to play.
If you take lessons, then you're going by a book, which is based on the theory, whereas the facts are, again, you only have 12 notes, do what you want with them. Everything I do is based on tone and sound.
By high school, he was the lead guitarist in the band that would go on to bear his last name, Van Halen. In the span of 4 decades, Van Halen released over a dozen albums. Their 1978 self-titled debut sold over 10 million copies and was certified diamond. Its second track, Eruption, featured an Eddie Van Halen guitar solo that forever redefined the instrument. Van Halen's signature two-handed tapping technique allowed him to reach otherwise impossible notes. The sound was intensified by a custom guitar Van Halen designed and built himself. He called it the Frankenstrat, or Frankenstein. Part Gibson, part Fender, the Frankenstein became its own trademark.
The guitar is a pretty basic instrument. It's a piece of wood, it's got strings on it, tuning pegs, tailpiece, pickups, blah, blah, blah. Mine's more like a Formula One race car.
Van Halen's design eventually evolved into his own guitar line. But even with a replica guitar, there's no replicating a Van Halen guitar solo. From the band's 1984 hit, Panama, to his Eruption sequel, Spanish Fly, to his collaboration with Michael Jackson's Beat It. Van Halen's fast-shredding speed solos will reverberate for all times.
My whole life has been music. I could not imagine anything else.
Eddie Van Halen, a musical genius who pushed life's strings to their limit.
The outpouring of support after the tragic death of Linkin Park's lead singer Chester Bennington. The Grammy Award-winning father of 6 believed to have taken his life at his home in California. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with new details about his private struggle. Such an incredibly sad story, Gio.
Unbelievable, Amy. Good morning. Chester Bennington was just 41, the lead vocalist for Linkin Park for nearly 2 decades, an extraordinary singer-songwriter, and fans are now pointing to his own lyrics for clues about that personal struggle. They're one of the most popular bands in the world. More than 70 million albums sold. Multi-platinum Grammy winners collaborating with the likes of Jay-Z. But this morning, Linkin Park is abandoned mourning. The Los Angeles coroner confirming its frontman, Chester Bennington, dead of an apparent suicide by hanging. TMZ reports his family was out of town and that an employee found him Thursday morning at his LA home.
There was an immediate outpouring of love, tributes, remembrances. This is not a band that had sort of faded away. This is a band that was very relevant and vibrant and had a successful career.
Bennington, a husband and father of 6, long struggled with drugs and alcohol. In this interview with Music Choice, describing a kind of battle with his own mind.
This is like a bad neighborhood, you know what I mean? And I should not go walking alone. And most of my problems are always problems that I cause myself.
Why is everything so heavy?
The singer's suicide strikingly similar to his close friend Chris Cornell's, who died just 2 months ago. Bennington taking his life on what would have been Cornell's 53rd birthday. The two often sharing the stage. Bennington writing on social media when Cornell died, "I can't imagine a world without you in it." Just a day after Cornell's death, Bennington paid tribute to his friend on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
In light of our dear friend Chris Cornell passing away, we decided to play our song One More Light.
On the news of Bennington's death, Cornell's wife, Vicky, tweeting, "Just when I thought my heart couldn't break anymore." And this morning, the tributes are pouring in. Rock band Imagine Dragons writing, "No words, so heartbroken." And One Republic, "Oh dear God, massive RIP to Chester Bennington." And we should mention Bennington and Linkin Park have done so much beyond their music. They started a nonprofit called Music for Relief, raising more than $8 million for survivors of natural disasters all around the world. And you know, he just loved doing things for people. You remember just 2 months ago, he was on GMA performing at the subway station right there at Grand Central Station for all those New York City commuters. And that's one of our favorite pop-up concerts just 2 months ago.
And so beautiful. I mean, I had chills listening to him to do that. And we are all so heartbroken here at ABC. We were so looking forward to having them join us in the park for our summer concert series on August 4th, but understandably Linkin Park will be taking time off to be with loved ones, and we of course want them to know, and everyone who knew and loved Chester, that they are in our thoughts and our prayers today.
And Chester was always so self-aware too, even in the interviews, that he was having that struggle and so honest about it.
So honest.
So honest. Absolutely. All right, well, we're thinking about him and everyone, and then the fans out there too who are also in mourning.
Special edition of the Rocket Report this week, as I have some tragic news on the death of a major performer in the Seattle music scene. This Monday afternoon, Andrew Wood, lead singer for the popular band Mother Love Bone, was pronounced dead from complications resulting from a drug overdose. Mother Love Bone was one of the most popular and successful groups in the Northwest. They're considered one of the few bands that actually helped draw the national spotlight to Seattle. Wood was a highly charismatic singer that was in the top class of Seattle's performers, and he was one of the most visible members of any band on the Seattle club scene. When interviewed by The Rocket last year, Wood showed off his usual charm. "I've been training for this all my life," he said. "I remember when I was 9 or 10, and I would wait until my parents would leave, then go down to my room and put on Kiss Alive really loud. I live for that." Andrew Wood, one of the most alive frontmen in Seattle rock and roll, dead in his prime.
You
have sad news to report here out of the music world. The drummer and co-founder of metal band Pantera has died. This announcement made here on Facebook saying that Vinnie Paul has passed away. He was only 54 years old, and overnight tributes from other musicians came pouring in. This is a tribute here from Brett Michaels saying that Vinnie was a great friend. His heart is aching, and he posted a picture of the two of them together. Papa Roach, the band, posted this overnight saying that they are gutted to hear about the nicest guy in metal passing. Vinnie Paul showed us nothing but love.